Unless you want to start with your pretty princess murder.
Okay, go on.
Was Uther a king? No, he was a marquis. He was Marquis Ostia. She's not a pretty princess. She's gonna be a pretty Marquesa, maybe? What is it?
Marquesa? I don't know. Marquesa sounds like a fancy drink.
Female marquis.
I don't know. I'm just going to slaughter some people. I'm just going to use the winged horse for what she was intended.
Oh, you brute. Okay, let's go.
Today, Precarious plays
Fire Emblem.
Poison Lance, you. Poison Lance, you.
Priscilla's nearby. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, you said not to leave Priscilla vulnerable.
Vulnerable? No, but near should be okay.
Should I try with the sword?
Well, the thing about that is it is against type, and because there are so many of them, I would not recommend it.
Yeah, you're right.
You might want to try the javelin and back up a square, just so that way she avoids getting poisoned.
Yes, you smart man. Good smart man.
Good smart man.
Good smart boy.
I'm a good boy.
Good chimera.
This is a good one. I know how to kill a man riding a little bitty dragon. Dragon-ish.
I know I keep saying this, but I just can't tell you how happy I am at how everything has come together for, like, maps like this.
Yeah.
Because 19 times 2, yeah. It's just great. Like, look, Lynn's over here with her bow and no chance to possibly ever get hit. And I can just, because we used those items to boost up her health, she's no longer as much of a wimpy pants.
No longer feels vulnerable.
Yeah. She probably wasn't all that vulnerable before, but...
Her avoid keeps her out of harm most of the time.
Yeah. I guess it's a silver axe. Okay, but yeah, she feels a little bit more beefy. The only person that I'm really afraid of that I probably shouldn't be afraid of leaving places is Lucius, but we're gonna fix that because he's gonna grow a pair soon enough.
Well, Lucius, he was a strong contender for that last angelic robe, but we wound up giving it to Lynn. Pardon me. I took anti-allergy medicine. I don't think of myself as being a big nerd with allergies, but I thought that I would try taking anti-allergy medicine to see if there's something around that I'm not recognizing as an allergen that's making me react, that's reacting badly with my system. I think it's doing more harm than good because it's sort of like flushing my sinuses without actually like providing a lot of relief.
Yeah.
You know? I think it's just making me sound worse. So I'm going to put that one down as a failed experiment. I'm not looking forward to the part in between maps when we have to talk as Hector and Elliewood and other people. What was I saying? Something about Lynn. Oh, Lucius. Lucius has one really high defense. And it's his magical resistance.
Right.
So he doesn't, in an ideal scenario, he's just going to be fighting against enemies that use magical attacks, and he doesn't need the extra HP because his resistance is so high.
Plus, he has a little bit further to go, and we're going to level him up at the end of this map, hopefully by using him to kill the boss.
Right. That will be an excellent demonstration of what I'm talking about, too. Now, I have a couple of more grievances to air about D&D.
Yeah.
I was watching, there's a show I like. It's WebDM.
Yeah.
Maybe we can link to the specific episode. I don't know if I can remember the specific episode. There was an episode where they were talking about, I think it was one of the community Q&A episodes. And someone asked, like, hey, what do you guys do if someone is looking for ranged weapon support? Because the core game does not have a lot of that. Or I'm sorry, thrown weapon support, not ranged weapon. And they had a few ideas, and at one point I thought about it and I was like, wait, that's not right. Because they're talking about needing to make special house rules for like daggers and sharpshooter to work together. Sharpshooter is the name of a feat. And I thought, you don't need anything special for that. Sharpshooter already works with daggers when you throw them. And I went and I checked, and it didn't make me feel any more confident in what I was thinking, so I looked around online and I actually found sage advice, that's people will ask the designers of the game like questions on Twitter, and then they will answer them, and if it becomes asked often enough, it usually gets printed in a collection of errata. And someone asked, hey, Jeremy Crawford, D&D guy, sharpshooter and daggers? Question mark? And oh boy. The answer was like, yeah, sharpshooter works for the first two elements of sharpshooter works when you throw a dagger, but not the third one. And it all comes down to this distinction between an attack made at a distance with a proper noun, capital R, capital W ranged weapon, and a ranged weapon attack. And I am shaking my fist in impotent rage. Oh, game. Oh, why do I play you? Oh, boy. If you want to get that longbow attack in, Dart can pick her up.
You're right.
Like, if you really want to get that longbow attack in.
Yeah, she's level 7 and Dart's level, 11.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you said not to worry too much about leveling at this point.
At this point, it's enough. Do you have enough?
Yeah.
So.
Bam.
But it is helpful if, battle buddies are still comparable to one another in level. Just so that way one of them doesn't suddenly wind up, out of their depth.
Yeah.
So, in preparation for the next book that's coming out, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, I have been updating a few characters, mentally, mainly. I've been mentally preparing to update a few characters that used Unearthed Arcana test material. That is soon going to be, it's going to have the official rules published in a book. I have a Way of the Kensai monk that I want to play so badly. And I was looking at the most recent draft of the rules, and so they tried to keep the weapons vague, and they have a recommendation for what you do when someone wants a more exotic weapon.
Right.
And I think that this is supposed to be, they talk about this specifically regarding monks, but it can easily apply to other characters as well, you know? But they say, if you're a monk, maybe instead of having a club, you have nunchucks, or a tonfa.
Right.
If you're a monk, specifically a shadow monk, maybe instead of having darts, you have shuriken or you have kunai. Just keep the stats, but name it something else.
Yeah, because really the reason for the stats is to keep game balance, and it has less to do with flavor. It still has something to do with flavor, don't get me wrong.
Right. Part of me wishes that instead of giving names to the weapons. They just gave them like a category, or they just refer to the shape. Mm-hmm. So instead of saying this is a long sword, if it was just like long blade, a couple feet, you know, and then the next one, the next entry, the next entry was long blade, yes, but a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
And it was the
Longish
short sword. Longish blade, yeah. And then the next one is like, about a little bigger than a kitchen knife.
About this big blade.
Yeah. I don't actually want that. That would be absurd.
But, you know, still.
I do like the fact that one thing that I'm really looking forward to with that monk in particular is, I believe, if I'm reading everything correctly, which is shorthand for if I can convince the DM.
Yeah.
If I can convince the DM that I'm in the right, I believe I will be able to make a very effective whip user.
Uh-huh.
Whips are very hard to use in 5e because I don't think they have any special support.
Mm-hmm.
And the way of the Kensai works, it's a monk that develops special techniques with weapons, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think the whip has the special property. So I believe it can be selected as a Kensai weapon. Mm-hmm. But it is an unusual weapon because I think I don't know if it's light, but I think it's finesse with a really low damage die. It's a martial weapon, and this is the important thing. It has reach. I think that it is the only light weapon with reach. And it's not very good because the damage die is really tiny, right? It's like, I think, a D4.
Oh, fuck.
It's fine. By the time Dart slays them, you might be... If you can move Dart right to the edge of their movement and then have Florina come rescue Priscilla, that might be the best thing to do right now. Because he'll kill them in the counterattacks and will be he'll be at less risk because he won't...
I'll just drop her and then...
Yeah. If they can't fly to Rebecca, then she shouldn't need to pick her up.
Oh, yeah, they can't. This might actually work out really well. Well, they'll probably all die. Yeah, Dart's pretty awesome. Okay, we are very close to the end of this map. Look who's left.
Mm-hmm.
This fellow over here. And...
Do you want to come back tomorrow and slay him and then do the talkie bit immediately afterward, or do you just want to go through?
Yes, that. Because we need to talk about strategy for just a second, because there's some fiddly stuff that needs to go on that I don't 100% remember.
Okay, you get everybody in more general position where they need to be, and I'll finish talking about the thing with the daggers. And okay, you know what? Actually, this is really easy. I want to make a monk that has one of the hand scythes on the end of a chain, like in, I think it was an outro for Rurouni Kenshin. I love that weapon. I always have to look up the name for that weapon. I can never keep it in my brain. So I'm not gonna try because I seriously. Anytime I have a character that uses it, I write it in all caps somewhere and highlight it in some way on my character sheet so I can say it when I use it. But I want to do that. I want to recast the whip as a hand sickle attached to a chain. And it's gonna be sweet.